Yo, guys, welcome back in today. Today we're going to be talking about Innoson, started by Innocent Ifediaso, if I'm correct. That's how you pronounce his Nigerian name. And we're talking about Innoson Vehicle Manufacturer. So we're going to go over today. This is a Nigerian car brand, right? And we're going to talk about the different cars. I'm actually on the website right now. Want to make it clear right now that Innoson uses Cummins Motors, which Cummins Motors are American car company or engine builder that makes very durable engines. I think a lot of people would know them for their diesel or turbo diesel engines in like big pickup trucks. I think the new Nissan Titan HD has a Cummins engine in it. I don't know if it's turbo diesel or just diesel. A lot of American car companies have coming engines in them. And yeah, they're just a brand that has been around for a very long time creating engines. So I just wanted to get that out the way. But I think the majority of Innoson vehicles are produced in Nigeria. I think obviously some parts come from different parts of the world, maybe like Asia, China, maybe a couple other places. But the majority of the car is, if I'm correct, the materials are sourced in Nigeria, and also it is produced in Nigeria. So before I start going on about the car brand, I always like to critique it in a way that is fair, because I actually understand the car industry in a lot of ways, and a lot of car companies have to start from somewhere. And a lot of the biggest car brands have actually copied or mimicked other car brands, right? Maybe unless you're like, I don't know, the beginning heavy hitters like Ford or Mercedes-Benz or the Daimler Group or whatever. A lot of other groups copied or mimicked these other groups until they found their own identity. And so I'm not really too hard on car companies that do that at the beginning, because you have to find your own identity. The only time that I'm irritated after a while is that if this car company stays this way for 10, 15, 20 years, at that point you should have somewhat found your identity, or at least try to change the design language, every couple of years, like most car companies do, and try to find your own way. So also, I'm sorry, the last thing I'm gonna say is that, you know, I think that a lot of African car companies should try to find their own way, and should also try to incorporate their traditional symbols and meanings and proverbs and architecture styles of how they build their houses, and their folklore and their ancient beliefs, whether it be religious or just ceremonies and the symbols. Like, they should all put those into their cars. That's what would make it uniquely an African car, obviously depending on what country, and the owner could be from a certain tribe or different tribes, or maybe they want to do it from a national standpoint and incorporate different tribes within their countries, like culture, into those vehicles and those interiors. But anyways, without being long-winded, let's go to innosonvehicles.com, which we've been on here for a minute. So when I first come on to the website, the first thing I notice is that it's very clean, right? Um, it has great presentation. I think when you scroll down a little bit, like we're scrolling where it says buy Innoson, made easy, how to access. I think that this could use a little bit of work. Like, I think that the font is a little bit too, I don't know, something about the font is off-putting a little bit to me, because a lot of people are going to be comparing you to other car companies. And yes, even if you're in Africa, like a lot of people in Nigeria or surrounding African countries might look at it and be like, oh yeah, it's a good website and all, but like, they might then go to a Toyota website. I can't tell you exactly how everybody shops for cars, but a lot of cars obviously are used. But, they're always going to compare it to other car companies. So that just is what it is. Like, I'm trying to help improve like areas that I think should be improved. But overall, it's a good website, right? It's I can't even produce a vehicle, so they're doing way more than I can do. But so we have home, we have cars, we have MPV, we have pickup trucks, we have SUVs, standing for sport utility vehicles, right? We have buses, then they have a blog about, which will tell you about themselves. So maybe we should click on that first. Um, so IVM, right? Innoson Vehicle Motors. That's what IVM stands for. And it talks about our brand. Who are we? the first made in Africa automobile brand, our purpose. Why do we exist? To eradicate foreign used automobiles from Africa. So if I'm pronouncing this right, it's called Tukunbu, right? Foreign used, meaning foreign used. Our vision, what do we want to achieve? To become the pride of African roads and Africans' most preferred automobile brand. And their mission is, how do we achieve this? To make durable and affordable brand new automobile for Africans. And then obviously it says the quality, policy, and then their story. And it talks about in 1978, a commercial town situated in eastern part of Nigeria called, and I apologize if I mispronounce this, Nnewi, was the central hub for motorcycle importation. As it is today for foreign used cars, so it was then for foreign motorcycles. They were the status quo. By 1987, a brand new motorcycle sold for 150,000 naira, which I actually don't know how much that is, so let me know. And one motorcycle sold for, no, I'm sorry, one car sold for 100,000 naira to 90,000 naira, if I'm correct. Things would have continued this way to this day, but the intervention of a 25-year-old Nigerian named Innoson, or Chief Innoson, the founder of Innoson Motors, which he came along and he, started to create the idea of a car company. Driven by a passion for the people and his core business philosophy, bringing down costs was his purpose and passing the gains to the customers, he pioneered the first made in Nigeria motorcycle brand that sold for as low as 60,000 naira. And then by the year 2002, he had successfully driven out foreign used motorcycles out of Nigeria forever, which I did not know that. That's actually pretty dope. Now, does he mean, or I have to do more research, but he probably means like, okay, the new sale of foreign motorcycles, maybe there might be a tax, like maybe if you want a Honda motorcycle, or if you want a BMW motorcycle, or you want a Suzuki, maybe there's a higher import tax. I don't know if he eradicated like all foreign motorcycles. So that would be interesting to know, but that's actually interesting because I didn't even know that backstory about Nigeria and how they were importing vehicles. It sort of reminds me of Cuba in a way, in some ways, right? So the car company was started in 2007, if I'm correct, and it says, we are manufacturing durable and affordable brand new automobiles for Africans. Our brand new automobiles are selling for almost the cost of the foreign equivalents, and they are as good as the foreign automobile brands that you know. The statistics are alarming. According to the recent research by PricewaterhouseCoopers, PwC, the ratio of brand new automobiles to foreign used ones on Nigerian roads is 1 to 131. That's crazy. Meaning that for every brand new car bought, there are 131 foreign cars. So, yeah. Think about if, in America where if, and it sort of kind of seems like that depending on where you go when you see a lot of Toyotas and Hondas and things like that. But think about in America if like for every one Chevy or Ford or Lincoln that you saw, then you would see 130 more Honda Civics or Volkswagen GTIs or, whatever else, Toyota Corollas. That's crazy. So that can really mess up an economy and have a lot more money flowing out to another country versus your country as far as like the automobile sector. So that's really a big deal because, there's some countries that are car countries like America, right? The millions of cars on the road. Japan, huge car culture. China, huge car culture and car industry, worth billions and maybe even trillions. So, there's a lot of money that can be kept in Nigeria. But let's go over some of the cars that they have. Remember, they have Cummins motors in them. So they're going to be durable. Very smart idea to outsource the motors to Cummins because if you have Nigerian roads, which obviously Nigerian roads, a lot of them are not the best. They're a little bit more off-roadish in some parts of Nigeria, depending on where you go. And so big cities, maybe not so much have to worry about that to some extent. Like Lagos and stuff, maybe not so much. But when you go out to different parts of Nigeria, like, yeah, the roads can be a little bit more terrainy or like off-roading in a way, even though it's like a road and it's a path. It's still not smoothly, it's still not smooth across the board, right? What you can say about America too, because America roads ain't the best. I'm just gonna keep it real with you. American roads are not the best in the world. If you go down south, Florida and stuff, okay, yeah, the roads are very smooth and stuff. When you go to the Midwest and the East Coast, like pothole heaven, wherever you go, pothole heaven. And obviously, when you go to a elite country of infrastructure when it comes to roads, it probably would be Japan or somewhere in Asia or maybe Europe, but mostly Japan. So, anyways, let's go over it. Innoson cars. So we're gonna start with the cars. Innoson Caris. Let's see. Because I'm really about to critique you about the cars, because I already have a critique about the emblem, but we'll get to that at the end. Okay, so it says this is a sleek, sporty, modern sedan. I don't know if you guys know how much I love cars yet. So this sedan, off of first view, is actually somewhat unique, but it gives me a little bit of Kia vibes, and it gives me a little bit of Jetta or like Volkswagen Passat vibes, which is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. You got to start somewhere. But okay, I like the shape. We're on to something here. I like from this is what they call the A pillar right here, right? So the A pillar is, they have A pillar, then you have B pillar, and then you have C pillar. And then I think some cars have D pillars if they're hatchbacks or something like that. But from A to C pillar, I like it. I like the shape of it. Um, the ergonomics are good. When it comes to the outside, it looks proportional. The front is a little bit longer than the back. I like that, right? The rims, I get it. This is probably more of a, I would say this is somewhat of an economy car, I would say. So Honda Civic, not Honda Civic Type R, Type S, but like not the sports ones, but like a base model Honda Civic, which is very sort of kind of mean to say, because Honda Civic is the top of its class. So it's very hard to compete with a Honda Civic, with anybody, even Toyota with the Corolla. Like, it's Honda, to me, in compact, Honda Civic is number one. So, you know, I'm going to obviously be comparing it to a Honda Civic. I'm just going to keep it real with you, or a Toyota Corolla. But the wheels, a little bit too small. I know that you want to keep it higher because obviously it's not a sports car and maybe the Nigerian roads. But I think if the rims could fill out the wheel well a little bit more. If you guys don't know, the wheel well is basically right here, right where the wheel is, and then the wheel well, right? So if you had water, like a well behind it. So I think these to me look like 16s off of I. If they could have did 17s, I think it could have filled it up a little bit more, and maybe a little bit thicker tire sidewall and a little bit thicker tire. So maybe these, I don't know, look like 16, I don't know, 55s. Maybe if they went with a 17-inch rim and then a 65, I'm sorry, what did I say? Yeah, like a 60 or 65 inch tire, then it could, which would be a taller tire, it would make the handling more comfortable over those rides. Well, okay, whatever. If you upgrade it to 17, it might like offset that extra tire. But theoretically, if you gave it more tire, then it would ride more comfortably and be a better ride, which obviously if you're marketing that these cars are sort of rugged and more strong, then you would want to give people as good as a ride as you can on these roads, right? So they're saying the Caris is one of our forays into future car design. With a captivating, sleek design, it was produced to give you the all-encompassing comfort, sophistication, and experience you crave in a modern car. Okay, I like the verbiage. I can't say that I agree with everything with the cutting edge design. Like I said, guys, I'm gonna be harsh a little bit because I'm a car guy and I want them to get better. I wouldn't say cutting edge design, but I would say a cohesive and somewhat sleek design, right? And a very, there's nothing wrong with being normal. Some of the first cars that a lot of car companies ever put out are normal, right? And sometimes they're underwhelming, but it's cool. Like, you need high volume cars so you can make a lot of money, you can sell a lot, right? Cheaper cars, but built as good as you can for that range of price that you have to make a car so you can still make a profit. And there's a lot of different things that you can do in a cheaper car that makes it unique and different. And so with this car, what I'm seeing right now, it's not necessarily very unique, and it's not the most futuristic car design, which is cool. But also, you don't want to necessarily push things out to the world that aren't exactly what they are. I think there could be different verbiage used for this entry level car. But anyways, it's a 2-liter automatic 5 speed. I'm sorry, 5 seats. So, you know, very typical in the industry. 2-liter 4-cylinder, right? You have 4 cylinders. Each one is 0.5 liters. If you're in America, you would know, like, 2 liters of milk. If you're somewhere else, sorry, I can't do the math of the translation on that. But 0.5 liters, 0.5 liters, right? In 2 cylinders, that's 1 liter. So if it's 4 cylinders, 1 cylinder, 2 cylinder, 1 liter. 1 cylinder, 2 cylinder, 2 liters, right? And also, a side note, no car actually equals up to 2 liters or 3 liters, right? 2 liters means 200 cc's. I'm sorry, 2000 cc's. Most cars are not 2000 cc's if they're 2 liter. They're like 1997 cc's. 1197 cc's, right? So they just round it up to 2000, which is 2 liters, right? 2.0, 2 comma 000 cc's, right? So it goes down here to talk about the technology, the proven exhaust, the air conditioning, leather seats, pretty like standard things in the car industry, right? And then it goes to the technology, and it tells you that you have smartphone integration. I don't know if it has what is it called? Apple, whatever it's called, Apple AirPlay. You guys know I'm a Samsung guy, but those two things that I can't remember right now in my head because I just shot another video. Apple CarPlay, and whatever the other one is. So I don't know if it has that or not, but it does say that it has smartphone capability. So it might just be Bluetooth, but it might be those two. We'll have to see. Reinforced shock absorbers. So reinforced shock absorbers, you have the spring and then you have the shock, right? Reinforced shock absorbers sounds like off-roading, like talk to me, like a truck or like a Jeep Wrangler, something that would go off-roading. So I'd have to see what reinforced shock absorbers actually means. But either way, reinforced shock absorbers, the goal is to try to make the shock absorbers, I guess, more rugged or take more abuse. So that's like more rigidity. So it gives it more reinforcement. So there's like either it's a stronger shock, like a bigger, heavier shock, or there's some type of bracing that grabs onto the shock or bolts into it to make it more rigid. So, there's a combination of things with cars that can make them handle better, handle worse, be more comfortable, be not as comfortable. So it takes a lot to like understand the market of cars and understand, okay, this group of people that's buying this entry level car, what do they want the most? And how do I compete with the competition around the world? That's a very hard thing to do, a combination of like sportiness, softness, enough to where it's super comfortable, but then like sporty to where it's not so comfortable to where there's no sportiness driving in it. It's not tight enough. It flips and flabs all over the place. Sort of kind of like a person that's overweight that's trying to like move left and right. It's not gonna like turn out good, right? It's gonna be a little slow moving. So that's that. Reverse camera, power steering, right? Fuel economy, it doesn't say what the fuel economy is. I don't think. Let's go to specifications. No, and see, that's another thing. There should be a fuel economy rated test. So even if you had to buy like one of the, I think they have them. They have like devices where you can do like miles per gallon over time. So what you would do is you would buy one of those devices and then you would obviously like test it out for a year or 6 months, do highway driving, street driving, highway driving, street driving. Then you mix it up with like 100% acceleration, 50% acceleration, 25% acceleration, blah, 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 blah. And you do that with everything that you're going to offer in the car. So if you're going to be a car company in 2024 and you're going to put a spare tire instead of a run flat or a run flat kit or whatever, then you need to have everything in the car that when you sell that car to that person, they will be driving around with. And that will give you the real world fuel economy. Two fuel economies, right? There's street driving and highway driving. And so you have the highway driving, street driving, you meet in the middle in the number, and that's your average gas mileage between you driving on the highway and on the street. So if you drive more on the street, it's probably going to be, the average is probably going to be closer to the street miles per gallon. And if you drive more on the highway, that, and then if you drive almost the same amount of highway and street, then your miles per gallon will probably meet in the middle. So if it's like you get 20 on the street, 30 on the highway, if you do almost the same amount on both of those, you're probably going to be averaging 25 miles per gallon, like constantly over 5 tanks of gas, 10 tanks of gas, a couple months, blah, blah, blah. It goes up and down. So airbags, the length of it is, okay, 4,500 millimeters. So I don't really know exactly what that is. Width is 1,600 millimeters and height is 1,570 millimeters. I'm gonna have to look it up. 10-inch display unit on dashboard. I think a lot of people like that. Oh, I was wrong. Okay, so it's 205/50 R17. So those are 17s? The car must be very high up. Well, if these are 17s, to fill out that wheel well a little bit, I would do like 60, 65R, but I don't know if they make 205 wide tires that tall. And then dual suspension system. So anyways, I've been talking a lot. Let's look at the interior. This is a comprehensive car review. Let's go back fast. Let me keep it on here. So the interior, okay, it's okay, right? I would like to have the fit and finish be a little bit better on the leather. I don't know if this is faux leather or like what they call vegan leather, which is not made from cows. It's like synthetic. Or I don't know if this is really real animal leather. But either way, the seamstress and like the fit and finish needs to be better. There needs to be, the leather shouldn't be already looking like it's like wrinkling a little bit, even if somebody has sat in it. So I think the fit and finish on the seats, and whoever the seamstress is or the people on the assembly line, they need to do a little bit better job with that. Okay, yes, typical economy type dash or gauge cluster. They call it gauge cluster, right? Where the RPMs, like rotation per minutes right here, and then the miles per hour, right? Well, you know, they're in Africa, so it'd be kilometers, km. But also, I think 300 kilometers is 200 miles per hour. And the reason I know that because I'm into Japanese cars and I watch Midnight Wangan, and they use kilometers too. So I think is 300 or 320 is 200 miles per hour. So anyways, if 300 is 200 miles per hour, then 200 would be 100 miles per hour. So this, I think, goes like 110 miles per hour. It's possible. It's possible with the way it looks, depending on how much power it has. I don't know how much of power. Let's just say you'll probably be able to break 100. Let's say that. But I actually like the gauges. I actually like the gauges. They're nice. It sort of has like a 3D effect. I can't really see it, but it sort of has like a 3D effect. So it almost looks like a titanium. I know it's not, but it looks like a sort of like a pseudo titanium. And I don't know if this is actually like layered up or if it's just straight across. Okay, my eyes might be playing tricks. It might just be a straight around flat design. But yeah, I actually like it. It's actually nice. It sort of kind of gives it a little bit more up class. Front seats, a lot better. Maybe somebody was just sitting in the back seats, but even then it should not deform and not go back to the original form like that. Front seats, I like it, you know, basic, black, red stitching. I like it. Not bad for somebody that needs to jump into an economy car. Headlights look pretty nice. I like them. The panels, okay, typical plastic, a lot of plastic. Economy car, not mad at it. I'm not really mad at plastics in economy cars. It's more in an economy car where the car company has a certain amount of money to work with. And I know that Innoson is a way smaller car company than Toyota or Honda or GM. So like they can give you a car for a certain price to where the interior seems more luxurious. Why? Because, well, you know, they're buying them or creating them by the millions every year. So they get cheaper and cheaper prices from the people that produce these materials. So therefore, they can make their money go a lot of a longer way, and build a better cabin. But anyways, a lot of plastic. I'm not mad at it, but if you're a small car company, it's not necessarily that you're going to get away from plastic, because you're not, for the amount of money you got to spend. But it's more not about materials at that point. It's more about the form, right? Like the form of it, like how it looks, the shape of it. So also, piano black, plastic. It's not good. It leaves a lot of fingerprints. I just hate that whole trend in the car industry in general. I get the slick glossiness, but I would much rather have like, I don't know, maybe some other painted but not glossy black. It's very hard with the fingerprints. Okay. Screen, I like it. It looks like a industry typical screen, which is not bad. I love it. The big numbers, the big text font. I would actually have to see how good it works, but yeah, I like it. Front bumper, I like it. A little on the basic side, needs a little bit more creativity, I think, to create its own identity. I like the fog lights here. I like that because, yes, it does give it a little bit more complexity, but also it gives it a little bit more character. And fog lights also convey a little bit more of utility when it comes to the fog, because fog lights are actually created to cut through the fog, like literally, like in rally racing or whatever. The lights are meant to cut through the fog so people can see you coming, but also because you can have more visibility. And that's why they created fog lights. They're like obviously lower in the car. And a lot of Japanese brands, even with one of my sports cars, the fog light is yellow because, if I'm correct, yellow cuts even further through fog. So yeah, I like it. I like it. They have the fog lights. Um, the cost goes up a little bit more probably because there's another thing you got to replace, but I like it. The headlights, let's see, is there another picture of that? Okay, we'll just stay here. The headlights, I like them. Um, I think it would have been dope if they would have let this bottom part just go, and let the blackness go all the way through, and just had this top part like that. I don't know if this is a turn signal down here. Maybe they need it, but yeah, overall I like it. I mean, it's just a typical front end. Nothing that I would be getting like super excited about, but nothing that I'm offended by either, which is cool. Like I said, it's very hard to be at the top. The Honda Civic is probably at the top, and Innocent is not as big, so it's cool. But in the future, we need to definitely try to implement more of a uniquer style. And at the end of the video, I'll probably add in like, or just talk about like, different symbols, or at least I'll show different. How about that? I'll show, because I don't know, the video is going to be so long. I'll show different symbols at the end, and I'll also put a racing company and how I think that their logo maybe should be, or if they should use a symbol. But that leads me next to this right here, the IVM. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I do not like the emblem. I don't. I don't like any company that just uses letters. I don't know why, but I've never liked it. The IVM, I feel like that makes it look even more generic of a brand. And that's not just Innoson, that's every brand in the world. So what I would like to see is, I would like to see them use a traditional Nigerian symbol. Like, take it from one of the tribes. Take it from, some ancient religion in Nigeria. Like, you have so much to pull from. To be unique, you're gonna have to be yourself. Like, and it doesn't matter if your population doesn't understand that yet. There's enough Nigerians, I think, in Nigeria that understand that, or African people that understand that the other people that see luxury and stuff in these other brands, eventually they will come around, and maybe they never will, but you'll have a huger audience that eventually will come around. And so you got to make sure you don't get lost in these brands that all try to act the same, because you're just not going to win that way. There's already too many heavy hitters, and you're just not going to win that way. And so you got to be unique enough. And I just don't like the IVM. I think that there should be a symbol there, or I don't know, maybe it should just be the name instead of, the motors part and the V in the motors part, vehicle and manufacturing. But like I said, it's not my car company, so they can do whatever they want. But I'm just trying to give my 2 cents. Um, in the back, it says the name of the car, Caris, Innoson, IVM, and CVT. Okay, cool. And actually, I can't even read what this says. So my critique on the back: the exhaust pipes, I like them. I'm not really the biggest fan of like squarish or triangle like exhaust pipes, but cool. We have the vents that are not really real vents. They're just plastic. There's no aerodynamics with this, so it's more for looks, which is cool. I'm not 100% mad at that. It gives it a little bit more sporty look, but it's not doing anything. Like, I'm pretty sure there's no vents back there. There's no holes. There's no aerodynamics. And that's another thing. It would be dope eventually if you could get an aerodynamics or an aero tester inside of the why can't I think about the name right now? In front of the factory or inside of the factory, because then you could really do some real aerodynamic test and make the cars more fuel efficient and you know, yeah, more fuel efficient, and then you can worry about sportiness. So the Innoson, I don't like how this is white, then the name Caris or Caris, if I'm correct, is silver. There it's too much, it's not cohesive. It's not cohesive. Like, if this is gonna be all white, it shouldn't be all white unless this is in the, maybe this is not fully done. Okay, so I'm looking around, so I don't know if it's fully done or not, but this right here, they should both be the same color. The Caris actually, even still, I don't like this font. I feel like it's just not a good font, right? Innoson is cool, but I feel like Innoson should replace the IVM or a symbol, right? For like the car company. CVT, I hate CVTs. Keep it real with you. Continuous variable transmission. And most of them, there's only 2 gears, and it gives the car a very rubber band feeling. So when you rev, if you drive a normal car, 5-speed automatic or 5 or 6-speed manual, you drive, and in 3,000 RPM, it shifts. Every car is different, but I'm just giving an example. It shifts, right? And a CVT, it never shifts to if I'm correct. There's 2 gears, small one, big one. It gives a rubber band effect because literally there's a belt in the transmission over these 2 gears. And it's like, I hate CVTs. They're so annoying, but I get it, right? I'm just critiquing. So yeah, tail lights, simple. Probably needed a redesign on that, but simple. The normal person might be like, okay, cool. It's economy car, cool. So yeah, that's that car. Let's move on to the next. I sort of talked a lot on that one. Innoson Connect. Okay, hatchback. Simple hatchback. Um, I'm starting to see the design a little bit with the headlights, with the grille, um, with the opening at the bottom. Like, I sort of kind of like that, like more of a lion type look, I guess, in a way, like the eyes, the mouth. That actually, excuse me, that actually could be a good design study to get into, where you look at a lion and you sort of kind of mimic what a lion looks like. That could be very aggressive, especially if you get the right designers in there. Um, but no, I actually like this. Matter of fact, I like this more than I like the car. I'm just gonna keep it real with you. What is it? Innoson Connect. I like the name too, Connect. That's that's good. That's good. Hot hatch, 1.4 liter, all motor, so it's probably a 1.4 liter 4-cylinder. Once again, I would like to know how much horsepower these motors are making. 4x2, so 4-wheel drive, if I'm correct. So you can make it 2-wheel drive, probably front-wheel drive, and then you could probably make it 4-wheel drive when you need to. It's probably a front-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, based on a front-wheel drive, so it's cheaper to create. Maybe not as easy to get out of like situations versus a rear-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, like rear-wheel drive based car. Then they made it 4-wheel drive or whatever. They have different versions, rear-wheel drive and a 4-wheel drive version. But I get it. It's cheaper, hot hatch, so hatchback. So yeah, you would want it to be front-wheel drive. It's cheaper, but 4-wheel drive at the same time. So 5 seats, automatic. Tires, 185, 55, R15. So these are actually 15s. Okay. No horsepower, no torque, no gas mileage. That is something I'm critiquing. You're gonna have to get those things together because people would want to know. Okay. Interior, I actually like this better than the last interior, but also I think they sort of kind of carried it over a little bit. Oh, it's 5-speed too. You can get a 5-speed. Hold on, was I tripping? I thought it said 5-speed automatic. Hold on a second. No, it said automatic. Am I tripping? Hold on. Sorry, let me go to this picture first. I swear that looked like a manual transmission. Yeah, it's a manual transmission. Okay, yeah, there's 3 pedals right here. Okay, so another thing to critique. I don't know, there's 3 things that could be happening here. Either I'm horrible, I don't understand the language in Nigeria, or maybe it's the translation to English, or maybe in Nigeria automatic means manual, which I don't think it does, but it's a possibility. Or someone got it wrong and put automatic when it's really stick or 5-speed or manual, right? These are all different names for the same thing. Or maybe they have an automatic version, but that's something that you would need to critique too. I like the big screen. Let's see. I like the simplicity of the AC air conditioner. It does everything right. I'm really loving this design though. Like I think with the fog lights, it's a little bit higher up. It's good terrain for some like Nigerian roads, probably in the smaller cities and stuff like that. Yeah, I like it. I sort of kind of like, I'm gonna call it the tiger, or no, the lion grill design, or the lion design. This part right here sort of reminds me of Mercedes-Benz, I think on the GLCs, maybe like 10 years ago or 5 years, whenever it was. But outside of that, I like it. I like it. Typical cloth economy seats. Yeah, I like this little swoosh right here, handlebar, lets people grab the door a little bit easier. I do have critiques about the dash though, the ergonomics. I'm pretty sure this is shared across the platforms, which is smart because you save money that way. I'm pretty sure this is the same dash that's in the car, but they might have changed the gauge clusters a little bit. And then the screen is a little bit different. It might be a little bit different, but either way, it looks like the same dash, which could save money, and you can do things interchangeably. You can interchange the parts. But what I would do for a cheaper car like this, I wouldn't make the dash like this. What I would do is try to make it a little bit more unique and make less like swoops and things like that. And I get it. I don't know the business plan and stuff behind Innoson, so maybe this was a more economical way to actually get a dashboard or to create a dashboard. But if it was me, I would take more of a simplistic way. I would make a straight across dash, and then I would put like a gauge cluster, a simple gauge cluster, and a mold that didn't have each of these circles, which costs money, right? A straight mold, like a squarish mold, and then I would put either digital gauges, or I would put these same gauges in there, and then I would just put a straight across dash with like some nice bamboo, like a little small strip of bamboo or something like that. Like something that would give it a little bit more character. But I get it. It's Nigeria. It's supposed to be a little bit rugged, and actually, I think it's pretty good looking. I have to say. Okay, on this one they put Innoson in the back like that, right, and then Connect. Um, I don't really know how I can, and it says made in Nigeria. I'm not mad at that, but I think that instead of putting made in Nigeria, they should put a Nigerian flag, maybe like right here somewhere. Maybe a Nigerian flag. No, maybe not right there. Maybe right here, a Nigerian flag, and they could put a little emblem that says made in Nigeria if they wanted to. But I would just put a Nigerian flag because then everybody would know it's Nigerian. Well, at least in Africa for the most part. Um, let's go back to the back real fast. Gotta get rid of this blue. Okay, so like again, the text, or not the text, but the font is okay. I think it should be a little bit smaller and not as curvy, like more cursive, just more normal, but a different font. The Connect is cool. I like the Connect, but I think it should be a little bit more pizzazzy, like with maybe a colored emblem in the back of it, like a square colored emblem in the back of it, and yeah, maybe a little bit different font, but it's dope though. And I would probably get rid of the made in Nigerian thing here to clean it up. And then the IVM emblem, the sticker right here, it seems like it's a little bit, or the emblem looks a little bit off center. So it's like tilted a little bit. So that needs to be fixed. But I like the third brake light. That's nice. Um, yeah, I like it. I like it overall. I like it overall. So I actually like that one better. Okay, MPV. So they got G20 Smart, Ikenga, and Kappa. Let's go through these real quick. G20 Smart, sporty, aerodynamic, simply fun to drive. 1.5 liter four cylinder, 4x2 again, automatic. Hold on, 7 seats? Okay, so what are these? I think these are the. Okay, yeah, these are the MPVs. So MPVs are like, what does MPV stands for? Again, I forgot. What does MPV stand for? P and V, vehicle. Man, my friend used to have a, was it Toyota MPV style car? It's funny because MPVs, man, I used to love MPVs, and now I just totally forgot about MPVs till you just said that. My homeboy's dad had an MPV. My Cambodian homeboy's dad had an MPV. It was dope. What was it, a Mazda? Maybe it was a Mazda MPV, and it was actually called a MPV, but MPV is a certain class a vehicle, and I forget what it's called. But anyways, okay, it looks nice. I like the design. It's tall like an MPV should be. Oh, let's go back for 1 second though. A little narrow, which is cool. A little narrow. Okay, let's go through this design a little bit more. Like the grille, it's filled in. I like the headlights. This is actually a nice looking MPV. This is actually pretty nice looking. I have to say. I will give them a good one. These last two have been really good. Let me try to stop it right here. These last two have been really good. I think if the rims were a little bit bigger and the tires were a little bit thinner, but yeah, they're trying to make it stronger. So I think if the wheels would pop up, what kind of wheels does it have? Hold on a second. I'm trying to get off of here, but it won't. Okay, maybe I have to refresh it. Hold on a second. Yeah, so let's see the specifications. I just want to see the wheels. Curb weight 1,225 kilograms. I forgot what that is. Oh, calibrated power. So this one does say the power 83 kilowatts, if I'm correct. Torque. Also, says the torque too here. 108 newton meters of torque. We use pounds in America at 4,400 RPMs. Huh. I'd have to see how it performs, but it sounds all right for how light it looks. So yeah, I couldn't. It doesn't say the wheel. See, and that's the thing. It has to be consistent across the board. Like all the specs have to be the same specs as far as like classifications. So how much horsepower, how much torque, how long is the car, the width of the car, how much passenger seat does it take? Like these all need to be uniformed for every car in the same order with the same parameters, you know, when you tell the parameters of the vehicle. But I actually like that one. That's the G20. Let's go to the Ikinga. Okay. Hey, first I see a lot of F Sport Lexus RX 350 F Sport grill right here. Like I'm not mad at it, but that's what I see. This one's actually, this one is actually interesting. Let me look at these design cues real fast. Let me pause this. Okay, so the interior is a little bit more pizzazzy. You know, I like the shifter. I like the blue going across here. Um, I would like to see maybe a darker blue. It would make it look a tidbit more expensive. You know, you got the glossy dash. At least it's not black, so there probably won't be a lot of fingerprints. Um, I like the steering wheel, right? Nice buttons. You know, you got the little shape down here, makes it look a little bit more expensive of a steering wheel. Maybe like a faux titanium, like I like to call them, or like some type of plastic that looks like that. Um, Seats looking sort of nice. Okay, sporty seats. Let's what is going on here? Okay, push to start. I like it. With the it's got a little uh wood grain that's probably not real wood, but I like the textured wood grain look. Got the buttons. Now here's the thing though. When you're taking the picture of these buttons, you want to make sure that they're immaculate. You don't want any stains right here, like fingerprints. You don't want anything like that. Like you want to make sure that it's immaculate when you're taking the pictures. But these are good pictures. Like it's good pictures. Shift knob, not in love with the plasticness of it right here and all the like shiny plastics, but it's cool though. It's cool. Cup holders, drive. What do they have? Snow mode maybe, summer mode. Okay, probably a traction control. I would like to look and see what that is. I'm liking this one. It seems like the cloth is a little bit easier for them to make a better knitting and like better fitment, which is understandable. Like leather's a little bit difficult to like, you know, mold onto things sometimes. I like the blue stitching, giving off sportiness. It's giving off sportiness, you know, I messed up right there. Um, I like the headlights. It reminds me of F Sport, Lexus F Sport on a 350, Lexus RX 350. I like the side markers. Okay, okay, what we got here? Ikenga, that's good. I like the badge on this one. Close. Looks very good. Fit and finish. Tail light looks nice. Let's go to the next one. Okay. I see you, Innoson. So they got the Innoson right here. They got the Ikenga. So I still like this, but I still feel like the Innoson should maybe be like across the whole thing right here or some symbol, right? So I think it should be a symbol. You get rid of Innoson or you put Innoson right here and that's all. Then Ikenga is cool. I like that. And then they got M60 down here like it's a BMW M3. Like I like the red behind the M, you know, I like that. That actually looks nice for her. I ain't going front. That looks really nice. It looks like something special. I would like to see a different color used for the M, like you know, maybe black or maybe some other color. But no, this actually looks like it could be special, and I like that. That's actually uh, pretty nice for MPV. Wow. Okay, and let's go to the Kappa. I'm trying to speed it up here a little bit because I know I was spending a lot of time on one or two models. Um, 2.4 liter four cylinder. Okay. So this one must be their top one. I like, hold on, let me stop it real fast because it's autoplay. I like the captain, what is these captain, what do they call them? Captain chairs? I like the captain chairs. So these two right here. Those two, you can spin around 360. You can spin them the other way. So I like the captain chairs. That's just me thinking if you can spin them around 360. Okay, MPV, door slide, Innoson Kappa. This one's nice. Now see, here's the thing. Innoson, you have to give the same quality to every vehicle. Once again, you have to give the same quality to every vehicle with the fit and finish. You can't go from an economy car and the fit and finish like, okay, here it's cool, but then some places it's not. You have to do the fit and finish on every vehicle. You have to have the Nigerian pride inside of you to be like, you know what, even the lowest economy vehicle, the fit and finish has to be good the same way that if somebody paid more money, that their fit and finish is good. But I really like this. The taillights are very nice, it's very unique. Doesn't really remind me of a lot of other things that I've seen in the world. Um, it's great. I like it actually. It's just like a nice little sort of kind of premium MPV. It reminds me of like some Kias, like how Kias were maybe in the last 5 to 10 years. It's nice, and I like this right here. Like the way that the black window, like it has a darker glossy black right here, like that's dope. And I think you can open this little window up right here. I like it. Actually, I really like it. I really do. Okay, let's go to the pickups. So after the pickups, we got SUVs and buses, and I think it's only going to get better from here. Okay, so this is the Granite, which is actually a dope name, and I like how they got the rock in the background. Uh, or am I tripping? Is it granite or granite? It's such a long day, but whichever one it is, I like that they showed the rock behind it to show the toughness of the truck and the rigidity and the ruggedness. So this one's a 4x4, and it's a 2.4 liter manual, 5 seats cargo. So they got it right on this one. Let's see. So this one has 2.4 liter gasoline engine. Is technically mature and powerful with features such as high reliability, low fuel consumption, and low emission. And therefore, like I said before, you have to compare them to other cars, or at least you have to have the numbers up there so people can actually compare them to other cars. Um, typical stuff, it says number of gears is 6 speed. That's dope. Front engine, 4-wheel drive. You probably have the ability to make it just rear wheel drive or front wheel drive. It depends on the truck, but if the truck was that big and it was front wheel drive with 4-wheel drive, that wouldn't be good. So I'm thinking it's a rear wheel drive based platform. It has disc brakes and drum brakes. Cool. Low fuel consumption. Don't know about that one, but because it looks like a mid-sized truck. Hold on, let me pause this. Looks like a mid-sized truck, so I couldn't say how good the gas mileage was, but it's nice. I really like it. Give me a little bit of Ford from the side. The front grille, I like it. It's a big grille. To be honest with you, where the IVM is at, I actually like these two chromed out plastic pieces, but also I think it would have actually been dope if they would have just left these out and just let it be all black all the way up. To be honest with you, like this honeycomb shaped grill, that actually would have been dope because then you have the chrome all the way on the outside. You got to be careful with so much chrome, like you don't want to go too much chrome, or at least in my situation. I love it. The fog lights, the headlights, I really like it. The wheels, I love them. They don't look cheap. They look like an alloy. Can't even say it, alloy wheel, right? I like it. Let's go to the next picture. These mirrors right here, they're chrome too. Probably would have made them black. Nice. This is a nice view. This is a nice view from this truck. I have to say this truck sort of kind of makes me want to like hop in there and go, put a wood in the back and build a house, like a lot of people that are in construction, or it makes me want to go a little bit off road and be rugged. So that's a great view, and that's a great picture. This photographer is on the right track, They're on the right track. This one could have been, had the whole rest of the back of the truck in, but still good nonetheless. Very good view. It has these little hooks. I think so you can put a cargo bed on top of it. I'm not the biggest truck guy, even though I love trucks, so I could be wrong about that. Um, it's just a good looking truck. It's a good looking truck. I would like to see it in black or white. I would like to see. This is a good truck, man. This is actually starting to impress me a little bit. You know, it was a little rough at the beginning, but we're getting there. You know, let's see. Okay, so this is their. What was this? This was their carrier 4-wheel drive. So, hmm. Okay, 2.7 liter. So 2.7 liters, if that's a Cummins motor, that's either a really, really, really big four cylinder or it's a inline four. Whew, that has to be like a diesel motor. I mean, it doesn't have to be a diesel motor. Oh, it's a Mitsubishi. Oh, it's not a Cummins. So, okay, all their motors are not Cummins. So this has a Mitsubishi 4G69. I have a sports car that's a Mitsubishi, a very fast sports car. It actually has a 4G63 turbo. This is a 4G69, which I think comes in 4G69 comes in the Mitsubishi Galant and then maybe their trucks. I could be wrong about the Galant. I think I might be wrong about the Galant. But 4G69 does come in a variant of a Mitsubishi Japanese sports cars or pseudo sedan sports cars. Like I think a Mitsubishi Galant and then like a Mitsubishi pickup truck. I forget what the name of it is, but wow. Okay. Probably a lot of torque. I mean, for an all-motor four-cylinder, okay. At 3,000 RPMs, you got between 200 to 2,500 newton meters of torque, and you have 100 kilowatts of. I don't know why I keep saying kilowatts. It's probably not right. That's electricity. Maybe it is. I don't know. I'm like horrible with other people's. If it's not in pounds or horsepower, I need to get better at that. But anyways, big four cylinder, really big four cylinder. So torque, which is probably what you would want for a four cylinder. So you have torque, you have probably somewhat of towing capacity. These are two things that you want when you want to pull things out of a ditch or you want to get out of a ditch. But also remember, tires. Tires are the most important thing. Doesn't matter if you have all-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, front-wheel drive. If your tires are not good, they're bald or they're not rated for good snow performance or rain performance or dry, then you're not going to go anywhere. Doesn't matter if you got all-wheel drive or not. If your tires are bald or they have low traction and you're almost done with them, you didn't get new tires, they're not going to do anything. I would suggest for Nigeria, because they probably don't get snow anywhere in Nigeria, unless there's mountains, which I don't think that there is, but that could be my ignorance. Maybe there are mountains in Nigeria, but well, at least mountains that would get snow, like Mount Kilimanjaro, right, or something like that. Um, a all-season tire would probably be good for Nigerians, like an all-season tire. All-season tires have a certain tread in the rubber that is good for everything. Some all-season tires are better than others. Some have better wet performance, some have better snow performance, some are across the board even with sports and all that. But yeah, remember, tires, tires, tires first, then you can think, okay, all-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive or this big four-cylinder that's more torquey or a smaller four-cylinder that gets maybe less torque, but it revs higher, maybe gets a little bit better gas mileage, but it doesn't tow as much, right? So this design out the gate, I'm not loving it. It seems like is this a compact I mean, a compact pickup truck? Yeah, I would say that this is probably like more of a compact pickup truck. Um, I'm not in love with it. It seems it's not a cohesive design. I like that you have this I forget what they call it, but whatever this bar is in the truck where you can hold on to things or you can tie things to it. People can hold on to it. I like it. Maybe it's because the white, but there's too much. There's too many ripples right here. That's cool. The fog lights. Um, Not in love with the headlights, not really in love with the grill. It's a little bit too much going on right here. Um, yeah, it's just a little bit too much going on. They can make it a little bit more basic, spend a little bit more time on the headlight design, the grill design, and the fog lights. But yeah, I want to like it, but I just can't. The headlights, it doesn't look like the way that I think it should look. It's not memorable. Um, Yeah, yeah, I'm not a fan of it. I don't. I'll leave this one. I'm definitely not a fan of it. But I'm pretty sure. Let's see the interior real fast. I don't. It won't let us. Um, a darker interior. Okay, from what I can see, it's good to me. Oh, I didn't know I could scroll it. Sorry. The interior is cool. This the dash right here. It's giving me like early 2000s like Toyota like Scion TC, which was actually a Toyota brand that Toyota made for America in the early 2000s because they weren't making that many sports cars from Toyota at that time. So they were trying to get younger kids, the new generation. So they made a brand called Scion, and they had a Scion TC, which is basically a Toyota in Japan. It was a Toyota Celica, right? Um, it had that type of dash and it had that type of thing with the radio and stuff. I never liked it. So, anyways, we're gonna go from that. Now we're gonna go to SUVs. Now we're really gonna go fast through here because we're already at an hour, so we're gonna go fast. The legendary G80, grand. Can I talk? A grand package of luxury and performance. Innoson. Now this one looks very promising. 2.4 liter, very interesting. Um, I guess you can get it in that, and it says it comes with a 3.0 liter turbocharged gasoline engine, which is technically mature and powerful. This is just the wording that they use because the way that Nigerians speak is different from how people in America speak. So when you translate it to English, you got to realize they're still speaking the way that they would speak in whatever Nigerian language that they speak. So I know what y'all gonna say. I know what y'all gonna say. Just like Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker and Rush Hour, Jackie Chan was like, y'all, right? I know you're gonna be like, y'all, but I know what y'all gonna say. This looks like a mini G-Wagon or a G-Wagon from Mercedes-Benz. And you know what? Yeah, maybe it does, but it's still dope. There's actually a lot of people that have took that idea from Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon. If you look at the Suzuki Jimny, which everybody loves, a Suzuki Jimny sort of kind of looks like a baby G-Wagon. Sometimes it's nothing wrong with copying designs. You just have to make it a little bit different from another design, and then you can like mature from that borrowed design and then make it into your own in the future. But a lot of car companies, when it comes to like, off-roaders and all kind of like rugged vehicles, they somewhat mimic each other. It's very hard to make like a new design, I think, that is like timeless, something that's going to look good forever. It's very hard to do that. So I mean, I'm not mad at it. Like the wheels, more chrome right here. I would like to see a tidbit less chrome, but I know people like chrome. Um, or at least have a blacked out version. I like it. Like the little indents on the roof. That I like that. And see, these small design languages I like because it gives right here, right? Like, okay, it's coming up. You have the sunroof. It goes back. I like these little air directors. I'm not saying that they were actually aerodynamically tested, so they're just probably for design. Who knows how efficient they are? But then you have this right here. It swoops up, which is going to make a, a disturbance in the air, or what they call, this is the study of aerodynamics, right? How much something cuts through the air. So in this case, how much a car cuts through the air. And if I'm correct, air is, or gases are actually fluids. So you could theoretically say that air is a fluid, right? So like, how much can this vehicle cut through the air without having to put out that much power to cut through the air. Because you got to remember, when you're going 50, 60 miles per hour, 100 miles per hour, that air hits you like a brick wall, right? Versus like when you're just going 5 miles per hour. So you need aerodynamics to get better gas mileage and blah, blah, blah. For downforce, so the car won't flip over, right? You got to think about all these things, right? You need the air to push down on the car, but you don't want too much air to go under, because if you're going too fast, the air could lift the car up and throw you off the side of the road. So aerodynamics is very important. But I like the little swoop. And then you have like this upper part that gives off the essence of like, okay, there's more room in the rear for the back passengers or the trunk, or there's more storage at the top. I like that. That's nice. I like that. I like that. I mean, I'm pretty sure most people probably would like this car. Okay. IVM G80, nice. I think the G could have been a little bit more cohesive, and the 80 is nice. A lot of, I don't know, it just needs to be a little bit different font, I think. But yeah, no, I like it. Innoson back there, I like it. IVM, I like it. You sort of kind of want to try to brand it for what it is. So if it's a G, what was it called again? A G80, then you might want to sort of kind of like pronounce it a little bit, you know, around the car. Okay, G80 blacked out. Okay, in the back G80. Okay, in the interior G80 on like the headrest seats, and you know, maybe on the steering wheel, like, you know, things like that. But this is nice, man. It reminds me of, like I said, a G-wagon, or what's that one brand called? Grandier or something like that. It's like another British off-roading truck company. I think that's all they make. But I like it. I can't say that I wouldn't buy it. It would be so dope to have an African car in the States. I like it. This is good. This is really good. Just keep building upon that design and make it your own. Yeah, that's good. Let's go for the G40. Okay, so I think we're going down tier. Okay, so I didn't realize that way. Built for Africa. Now, this reminds me more of like a Jeep Wrangler, which is a great thing. Dang, 2.8 liter? What the heck? What kind of 4 cylinders are these? Okay. Doesn't say. Maybe it's not a 4 cylinder. Oh, it is. What the heck? Hold on. See, this is where it gets confusing. It has 2.8 liter up here, and then it has 2.4 liters. So, yeah, because I don't even know a motor 4 cylinder that's that big, 2.8 liter. I mean, at that point, I mean, I think there was some 3 liter 4 cylinders, but you barely have any room inside the cylinder walls. Like the cylinder walls will get so thin, you have to move up to like a V6 or something so you can put more metal back in those cylinder walls. I think there was a 3 liter V6. I mean, I'm sorry, 4 cylinder, but I can't remember which one it was. But anyways, it's not. It's actually a 2.4 liter 4G69, which I'm very aware of this motor. Good, reliable motor. Let's see. Let's stop this real fast. You know what? I like this. I like this out the gate. I like this. Nice interior? Yes. 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 There you go, Innoson. Yes. That's how you do it. Matter of fact, maybe y'all need to stick to trucks. How about that? Maybe y'all need to stick to trucks. Like, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with cars, but you guys are doing this nice. Give me a little bit of, what is this? A little bit of Jeep, what, Cherokee or Wrangler type grill right here. Like, I'm not mad at it. Yeah, this is not okay. I like with the little metal right here. Yes. Headlights, love it. Love it when car companies make 3 different size circle headlights. So you have the smallest one, you have the turn signal blinker, and then you have the big headlight projector, you know, with probably HID's headlights, the blue ones, like the light, or they have a spectrum range of like light, right? Or light in general from the sun, or just light in general. But like you have like lighter blue to like super dark blue. I tend to like more like 9,000, I think, Kelvin, which is like a lighter whitish blue. That's what I tend to go to with like high definition lights or HID lights. But yes, man, this is dope. I would own this. Like I would buy this and drive this around like proudly. And you know, you could actually give an off-roading version too that's more rugged, you know, bigger wheels, bigger tires. Like the well is already there. Like you have so much space. You can make an off-roading version. I mean, theoretically, it's already technically off-roading, but you could give it even more beefed up off-roading, like into the Sahel Desert and things like that. But this probably could go there too. Really nice. I like this. The SUVs are really impressive. Good combinations with the 4 cylinders too. Very impressive. Let's see, this one is G5T. Is that right? Yeah, G5T. Okay. Let's see. 2.4 liters. So, okay, we got the same 4G69 Mitsubishi motor. Let's go into it. Stop this. Okay, 3 fog lights. I like that. I like that. Gives a little bit more money and luxury, you know, luxury. IVM in the front. You know, we're going down tier here, so typical. Ooh, okay. You're doing your little Tesla thing. You have your little big iPad or tablet, I guess you would say, in the middle. See, that's nice. See, I think they should go more this route with the tablet because it's a little bit more customizable when it comes to software. And you could probably have like quicker updates, like over-air updates if you have the infrastructure for it, or even if you use like something off-site as far as like changing the graphics and stuff like that to refresh it. But this one actually looks like it has a digital gauge cluster too. I don't know. A little bit, you know, yeah, plastic. We have plastic. The red, it's cool. I probably would have did like, I don't know what I would have done other than the red. I guess it's cool. I guess red's cool. The wheels, I'm never in love with the black and like chrome wheels. Like I'm never really into love like the dirty gunmetal wheels. Like I'm never every brand, even Honda, I'm not in love with that. Um, you know, this is a cool truck overall. It's a cool truck. I guess it's more of a family truck, but I don't think it's as cohesive as it should be. But overall, I like it. I like it. I think the interior is probably lacking a little bit more than the actual design. Hold on, did I miss something? Okay, so that was the G5T. This is G6T. Hmm. Okay, so I think it's same truck in a way, but it gets a better package. So the interior is nicer, the nicer leather interior. Okay, that's cool. Um, I think the buttons are a little bit different. The dash is a tidbit different. You get a third brake light. Um, you get a side marker as well, or a turning signal on your side window. Dope, really nice. Makes it look more expensive. Like it. The more racing steering wheel, very nice. Innoson, yeah. Overall, I like this one. This is probably the upgraded version. So if I had a little bit more money, I would probably go for the G6T instead of the 5T. And also, Innoson, you got to put things in a row. The lowest model should start down here and then go up. Okay, buses. We're not going to go through all the buses, but let's do one mini bus and then we'll do um, 2 of the bigger buses. Let's see. Mini bus, 1.25 liters. So it's a 1.3 liter, 5-speed manual, 7 to 11 passengers. 5-spoke aluminum alloy rims, titanium silver steel wheel rim cover, high strength steel wheel rims, combination tail lamps, theft deterrent steering lock system. You know, the typical things in the industry. Let's pause this. Okay, nice little bus. Door slides back. I like it. It's very. It reminds me of a K car or a Kai car, which is a classification of car in Japan that you can only make the car so long, so wide, so tall, and it can only have, I think, under a two. No, it can only have under a one. maybe a 2-liter motor. So it has to be like 1.3 or 900 cc's or 1 liter or 1.4 liter, something like that. But it reminds me of that, like the K cars in Japan. And then this actually reminds me of a Honda K truck. Nice though, I like it. Smaller. I like it. I like it's got the little just symbol right there, clean, simple, VVT. I think that's what it said, variable valve timing. Depending on what motor, yes. I think even, no, the 4G69 had the MyVec, Mitsubishi Innovative Variable Electronic Controller or something like that, which was like VTEC in a Honda, which is dope. Makes it a little bit more complicated, the engine, when you have to fix things, but it's dope. So anyways, overall, I like this. I like the interior, very basic, very bus-like. Yes, son, that's what you do. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Some things, keep it simple. Everything doesn't have to be so extravagante. And then actually, let's just do one more. Let's just go to the highest bus, which I think is the 6857. Whoo! That's the big boy right there. I like it. The Innoson 6857 is a versatile high-end coach ideal for commuter and touring services. It stands out because of its features, design, aerodynamics, attention to details, and comfort. The Innoson brand touch makes it unmistakably safe, reliable, and profitable coach. Driving it is a special experience, and traveling in it is a true pleasure. Now, I ain't gonna front. Out the gate, they ain't gotta tell me nothing. I'm just looking at it. They got a Cummins motor in here. We know it's gonna be reliable. A 2.7 liter, probably either a V6 or a 4-cylinder. I don't know for sure, but it's gonna be reliable. It's got torque, hopefully enough. Probably not gonna be that fast in a straight line like most buses aren't. But once they get going, they're tanks. You know, they weigh a lot. Okay, the little overboard pass. Hey, the little I can't even speak. IVM, seat covers. You know, I'm about to be Nigerian. Hey, right? And they have like the different colored, very, very African in a way with the colors, but it also reminds me of Japanese like print from the 90s on the buses, like the commuter buses, which is so dope. What the? Hold on. Let's go back. Can I not zoom into this? I can't. It's so small. Yo, they got the wood grain on the stick or shift knob. They got the wood grain shift knob. Come on, talk, Johannes. They got the wood grain shift knob and the long, like, metal in the ground with the carpet. The carpet looks like some good fit and finish. It almost looks like German weave carpet, which I think is what's used on the Porsches and Mercedes-Benzes, and it looks very durable. But I think that's one of the most high-end carpets you can get in the world, because I tried to get some for my car and it's very difficult. So if that, I'm not saying that's what it is, but if it is, that's nice. But that shift knob is nice, man. This bus might be very, very nice to drive. I don't necessarily like the baby blue, but I do, which is very interesting. Very interesting. I don't know if I like the design. It reminds me of very like 90s Japanese buses, which is not a bad thing, but I think that it could have been a little bit more like, okay, and I don't know all the different colors, but it could have been like all white, green Nigerian flag, and then maybe like different, traditional Nigerian symbols instead of these slashes. But I mean, I still think it looks dope. And I've always loved like the long side mirrors so they can see like the whole bus. That's so dope. Innoson, I like it. Okay, I like this. But see, here's the difference that I think what should happen. I think Innoson should be up here where IVM is at. Take IVM away, Innoson, and then put the model down here. But beautiful taillights. Sort of kind of reminds me of early 2000 Toyota Avalon. Great taillights. Love how it's so tall. A little window up here, which is good because you'll cut down on window costs when you have to replace that window. It also gives it conveys safety when you're in the van, I mean the bus, sorry. It conveys to the passenger safety as if they've gotten into like an armored truck that nobody can get them. So I like that. And I like the side mirrors. Like I said before, I like how the proportions of the bus. I like the wheels. The wheels are very bussy like. I think it would still be dope if they would have like did different wheels. So, you know, if this was white and green Nigerian, then they could maybe paint these like green and white, like stripes going across all of them, you know, just to make it a little bit more pizzazzy. But yeah, the front is nice. I like it, you know, a little bit low down here. Nice headlights, you know, seems very uniquely African when it comes to these headlights. Like the symbol, would like to see Innoson in front. Um, but yeah, overall, I like it. I like it. I actually like it. Sliding door, I like it. So guys, to wrap up the video, I think what I've learned here, there's a couple things, right? And I'll sort of kind of put this to the side for a second. So I think a couple things that I take away from this and the things that I've learned. Innoson and a lot of different African brands, whether they be from Ghana, like Kantanka, or, you know, I think there's a Moroccan brand, which I'm going to do next. They have South African brands, which are, I think, more created by Europeans that are in South Africa more than the indigenous people in South Africa. But from Innoson, okay, I would say I like the majority of the designs. I think that they have a good pace as far as like in a good range of models of what they're doing. I could actually think about cutting down a little bit on some of the models to focus more on specific models, which I think would be more of their bread and butter. Like instead of having like a car, get rid of the car and focus more on just the little crossover and then make that a little bit more high quality. And then like some of the trucks you could cut out, but like the ones that are, you know, the G80 and then the other truck, I can't remember the name, like those ones that are really nice, you have one that's a little bit more affordable and one that's like somewhat expensive. You know, I think Innoson for now should like stay in that mid-tier range of pricing, like not too cheap, but like the beginning of affordable to like mid-tier as their high tier. Basically like how Kia is right now, or even Hyundai is right now, but I would say more like shoot for like Kia, which is not a bad thing. At the beginning, it's not a bad thing. Then you build from there and you go further to like a Genesis or to like a Lexus or to like a Acura if you actually want to make a luxury brand or side, right? So those are my first couple of takeaways. Second thing is I would use an actual symbol, preferably a Nigerian traditional symbol. You guys have a million of them and they're beautiful, they're amazing. So I would use a Nigerian symbol as the actual symbol for the company. The same way with Katanka, I feel the same way with them. I feel like they need to use Ordinka symbols, and I did it in the last video I'll put up here, where they can use Ordinka symbols because you already have everything you need. So you don't have to try to be like everybody else. You need to try to be unique, right? More unique than not. And then in some areas, you be like everybody else. Okay, the motors used from other people. Okay, you create things, sort of kind of, you know, get your design language from other car companies first. And then over the years, you'll develop your own type of design language, right? Tiger Eye or, you know, whatever the design language is. Every car company has a design language every couple of years to where they make the grille look a certain way. They make the headlights look a certain way. So that's fine. I would just cut down on some of the models, make the fit and finish higher quality, like some of the other models are. Go through the website and revise it and make sure that all the specifications are listed on every page, and also make it a little bit more cohesive to where like one car doesn't tell the horsepower and torque, but then the other one does. One part of the website or the page when you scroll down says, oh, it's a 2.7 liter. But then when you go down, it's saying it's a Mitsubishi 4G69, which comes in, I think, the Mitsubishi Galant. That is a 2.4 liter. And then it says 2.4 liter at the bottom. Like you got to make sure that those are cohesive because when you have other Nigerians or other Africans or people in America, like African Americans or Haitians, or if anybody wanted to import that, some people's perception and what they feel about when a car company is starting out, they don't give as much leniency as I do because I understand cars and I'm into cars and I've like study about car history and brands and war and how all these models came to be. So the average consumer is not going to be so forgiving. So that's why you want to sort of kind of do more or as much work as you can to make it give a perception that the normal person is like, oh, this is what I think it is, whether it be an off-roading car company, if that's the route you want to go down, like Jeep, right? They focus more on off-roading. If you want to go down the route of like, okay, we basically do more luxury, then you go down that route, you know, like Mercedes Benz or whatever it might be. Or if you're just trying to be a normal, everyday bread and butter economy to family brand like Honda, even though they do make sports cars, but the majority of it are regular Civics or regular Accords or regular Honda Pilots, even though they have like off-roading models and stuff, like that's their bread and butter. If you want this to be your bread and butter, you can make it be your bread and butter and then come out with a luxury brand. But if you're going to do it, you have to say, hey, how can I make people in Nigeria say, forget Toyota, which is going to be very hard. I'm just going to be honest with you, and forget Honda. It's going to be very hard. But it's not necessarily that they have to forget, but how can they add on this Nigerian car company to the other car companies that they already have a certain respect for as far as reliability, gas mileage, where they find the parts at. Every country is different. In America, finding American parts are easier, and even Japanese parts because it's such a big market. But in another country, finding American, you know, Chevy Corvette, you know, motor like a LS motor or parts or whatever, you know, control arms, tie rods, that might be harder in a different country that's not America and also not a huge car company. I mean, I'm sorry, a huge car country. So these are kind of some of the kind of things that I think Innoson needs to work on. And the website I think is pretty good. I would give it a 6.5 out of 10. I think there's some other things. It needs to be a little bit more, like I said earlier, cohesive. Some of the text and the font is, I think, a little bit too big. There needs to be a little bit more work in like how the presentation of the website is. It's more on the basic side, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But if it's going to be on the basic side, you still want to clean up those things, right? Because when somebody comes to the website, if they want to buy the car, you want them to have a seamless, easy experience, right? But overall, from what I've seen, I like it. You know, I would probably give it a 6 out of 10 overall, which is still good. You know, like, you know, if I gave Honda, you know, a 9 out of 10 and I gave Toyota a 9.5 out of 10, you know, like 6 out of 10 for not producing cars for that long is good. You'll get, like, you don't have to worry. If you keep doing it, you keep believing in it, Nigerians keep believing in it, other black people around the world keep believing in it, then yeah, like it will get where it needs to be. And I would love to have one, to be honest with you. Maybe one day I have to see it what the prices are. Maybe one day I'll have one, I'll buy one, and I'll import it into America, and I'll be one of the only people that will be driving around an African car, which would be dope. And then I can modify it. And then if I modify it, people in Nigeria be like, he's modifying like this in America. And we can create this African car culture that does exist in Africa, but like from a world perspective, right? Because you get aftermarket companies, they want to make parts for your car. Now you make the car more popular. Now people are like, this car is a little bit cheaper and it has this uniqueness and that uniqueness. And let me try this out. And this is how you can help grow your brand as well. Um, Last couple things I'll say. If you're going to make sports cars down the road, I would make a sports car division like everybody. So if it's Innoson Vehicle Manufacturing, then if you made a sports car like performance brand, maybe you can use like a name of a symbol, of a Nigerian symbol, as the sports car division, and then obviously you could give it like a dope Nigerian symbol that conveys speed, that means speed or handling or to handle something. Well, probably speed at first. I think that would be really dope, and use that symbol as the way to let people know that it's the highest, like, excuse me, sports version of that car. You know, I think that would be very dope. And at the end of this video, while I'm talking, I will put up Nigerian symbols, traditional symbols, and yeah. And then also, you know, if it's possible, try to have like a racing track at some point. You know, even if it's at the facility, like, you know, try to create a racing track, put some money into it, so then you can have testing, you can have put a wet road, you can make like a wet area where you put a whole bunch of water, sprinklers, and then you test out the performance of like the tires and how the car, the chassis, which is the body or the metal right under the hood and the doors, whether it's aluminum, sheet, steel, carbon fiber, whatever it is, right? It's all the chassis, the underpinnings, the bones of the car. And you could test that. You could test the chassis dynamics, the camber, the caster, the toe in, the toe out, and make the car handle better. You could also get a wind tunnel. No, it's not cheap. I don't have the money. I'm just saying in the future to make it more aerodynamic so you can see where the air is actually going on the car. You can take like little ropes with pieces of tape, and then when you put the fan in the air in the wind tunnel, you can see where the air is being directed. So then you can maybe put the wing higher in the rear or the back, so your car can get more downforce. I know old school ways, some people put like paint. I think they put like little, I don't know, like, I don't know, they did something with the paint and they put it on all over the car, and then when the wind blows, the paint would go back the way that the air was maneuvering, like over the car, on the sides of the car, under the car, right? So I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but I really like where this is going. I know you guys asked me to review the Nigerian brand. This is, I think, an in-depth review. I'm not saying everybody's going to watch it all the way through, but I love cars. So for me, this is very interesting to do, and I have no problem with doing it. But yeah, you guys should check them out. If you're in Nigeria, go check them out. You know, try to support, try to buy a car. If you're outside of America, I don't really know how that works yet, but I'll try to find out. If you're interested, I'll try to find out how you can export these cars. To be honest with you, I don't know if they're outside of Africa, but even if they're not and you get it, you'll be dumb exclusive. Like, you almost guarantee that ain't nobody gonna have it, you know? And I like these models. So please, until next time, guys, like, subscribe, turn on your bell notifications so you get all my videos. Add me on all social medias. And until next time, peace. One love.